Let's check out some needle threading tips. Sewing machine and hand needles. Do they work? Tip number 1, we're going to test wetting your finger, putting it behind the needle and see if that draws it through. This is a tip. I don't know if it's going to work. Now, one thing I do want you to know is that you should be threading your machine, so this is threaded with your foot up. Okay, that's down, that's up, and that's just a general make your machine work right. Okay, so when we thread needles, we need to have a clean snip. Oh, let's get some moisture going on. Now when you thread your needle, you can put this down. Does that work? I don't know. Did I just angle my thread in beautifully, or did it actually help? I think I might have to just test that out a few times, but it certainly went in quite easily. All right, let's snip that off. Tip number 2, look, this is how I do it. I put my finger behind. I don't wet my finger, but I put my finger behind because it helps me to see. Whereas when you've got it just there, let me just get this through. There we go. Come here. There we go. So we've threaded him as well. But when you've just got it like this, it sort of gets all obscured by the metal and the light. So putting your finger behind, I find, does help to just help you see a little bit, help you guide it into the hole a little bit better. All right, there you go. Very, very easy once you've got a clean snip. And I like that finger behind the tip. You can try it out with wetting your finger and see if that helps draw it through better for you. Does this guy help you thread your needle in a machine? Okay, we know this is for a hand sewing machine, a hand sewing needle. I don't reckon it's going to. I've never tried it, but let's see if I can even get it. No, I don't know. That's really hard to see anything. Turn that around for you guys. Not going to help me. I cannot see anything. So I can't even see if I'm getting that into my hole. Let me take the needle out to see if we can actually see a bit better and get this needle threader through that tiny little hole of the machine sewing needle. It's not going well. Oh, that is a big fat no. That just doesn't even go through the eye of the needle. Okay, so your hand sewing tool ain't going to work for a machine needle. All right, so if you can't use a manual threader, can we use the one that comes with the machine? Now, to be honest with you guys, I have never used this. I just thread my needle, but I can understand it might be pretty good to use. The tricky thing is you will have to get up so close. There's this little point in there of a microscopic tip like the manual one, but it's microscopic, so it is going to go through the eye of your needle. You're going to have to get it to line up, and it's in through there now, okay? But sometimes these little threaders, they've got a bit of wiggle in them, and so you really have to get that lined up. All right, so in order to use a threader, we go over here, we get that little prong. That sounds like it's through. I can't really see because, you know, I've got a camera. And then you hook this over here through, it's now through the prong, and you'll let it thread it through. There we go. Turn the machine around. You can see it started to pull it through. There we go. And that's enough, isn't it, for us to grab and hoik out. So there you go. That's how to do it with the machine needle threader. All right, we're going to a pretty wild tip that I read about. And the wild tip is that we're going to use a folded piece of paper. I've never done this before, so you're on in for an adventure just like me. So the idea was that we fold the paper. So we've got a very tiny little Now, it's going to have to be exceptionally tiny given I've looked at how big the eye of the needle is. Tiny, tiny, tiny point to that paper. Now, I don't think that's going to go through. I'm going to have to go and trim that. You can't tell me I haven't trimmed that thin. So the idea is we roll, I'm going to put this guy into the fold of the paper. I wonder which way it goes. Does it go this way? Maybe, maybe. I'll try it both ways. I don't know, maybe I trimmed it way too short. Maybe I didn't. Alright, well, it's in there. That's not going to help. Let's just try and trim that off. Okay, let's see. I don't reckon I've got it the right way around. I don't reckon that's helpful. Now I can't make that work. Maybe I've got the wrong way around. Let's try this. Oh, I'm going to keep banging the camera. How about this way? That's ridiculous. I can't get it in that. Okay, that's stupid. Let's try another. Let's try another side. This is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to make it easier. I'm not having much easiness. No, clearly that's not going to go through the hole. Give it one more bash. I've heard of this tip. I've never seen it done. That's not going to help. I need it not to snip the thread. Okay, so I've heard of this tip, never seen it. Again. Why is it going to go through that hole? Let's do another test. Let's get my other needle that's not in the machine. There is no way in this earth that that's going to go through the eye of my needle. Okay, maybe if you're using a huge needle, but I don't think that's easier. Ow! Nora's stabbing herself. Ouch. Okay, that, use that. This, no, fail. All right, now the last idea, well, it's actually the second last idea, I want to test out is, does angling it help? Because it does on a hand sewing needle. There's actually grooves in the needle, and so if you angle it down, it should, again, I'm not sure this is going to work in a machine. Oh no, that worked really well. Wowzers. That actually worked. So let's just try that again. Could be just luck. Ah, there it goes. Beautiful. You see my fingers are quite away from the end of it too, so that's the success. Angle it down the groove and it'll help you get into the eye of the needle a lot better. All right, I did say I'm going to try one more thing. Okay, what happens if you were having a devil of the time and you just couldn't get the thing? Well, couldn't we thread it, bring it closer to us and thread it a bit close to us and not have all this, fiddling around in this space, which is a bit curtailed and tight? Why couldn't we just take it out? Thread it where we can see it, where we've got space. Da-da-da-da. And then put it back in. I have to just make it follow the groove of the foot if we've got the foot up. That's not a hard thing. Make sure the needle's all the way up. And then, let's make sure there's no tangles here. It's threaded. There you go. I like that one as well. Okay, so let's do some testing on a hand sewing needle. Now, not all needles are the same. I'm going to go with an embroidery needle. You can see how big the eyes are there. They're kind of long, but narrow. They're not really that long. And then let's have a look at this straw. It's a milliner's needle. See if you can see that there. And the eyes are a lot shorter. Nowhere near as long. Okay, so I think I've chosen some fairly challenging needles. All right, so as per all threading, snip to make it sharp. Let us follow, I can't even lift it up, guys. Wet my finger. Let us see if this works on this tiny eye. It's quite hard if you got, oh, it goes through, so that's great. That goes through. And then we'll just shove him through the gap. If I look really cack-handed in this, it's because, you know, I had a camera going on. Oh yeah. Psycho sauce. Let's make sure we get success on our embroidery needle. I can't see. I need it closer to my eyes because I've got bad eyes. Ugh. There we go. Stabbed him through. Put him through. Just I'm not liking it so much because this has got a very much a narrower eye. Okay, so a narrow eye. It's not happy, Jan. Not. Oh, no, we can wiggle him through. Okay, there you go. Message is just give him a few wiggles and a few little tugs and success, right? Success on that, even on very narrow eyes. Wet finger behind. Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've got the dexterity to hold everything and put a wet finger behind. I don't think that's happening for me. No. I reckon that requires more dexterity than I've got. Sorry, but that's not going to work. I would probably wet my thread because that, you know, that's what I've done since childhood. Give it a lick and it makes it a bit stiffer and thread that through. I don't know that this one has a groove. Does this one? Theoretically, there's a groove that should run along a needle towards the eye. Then given this is a milliner's needle, I'm not going to be surprised. I can't see. I can't feel any grooves. I can't because, well, look, it's a little bit flatter at the eye. Maybe we'll get it. Let's see if we can angle it. And also, you know, it's a milliner's needle. It's designed to be thin and pokey, very, very sharp. So it may not, oh, I need to snip him off. It may not even have that groove. I can't see one because they are designed to be, they're called straw needles for a reason. Okay, let's see if we angle it up towards the eye. Will that help? Look, it's not monstrously great. I think I just caught the eye. I don't think there was a groove there to help me in this particular type of needle. I don't think it's going to be in this one either. Can't see any, but you can see how much longer that eye is. I angle up. No. No, there isn't. There isn't a groove on these types of nails. This isn't. Okay, that is a bust. But I'm only going to say it's best for the 2 types of needles I've tested, because I have used it before and this tip has been great. So your needles that you might be using, if you're just using bog standard hand needles, then I don't see why that wouldn't work. There will be a groove. Let's just do one last little checky check. This is my machine needle, and because I couldn't get my camera behaving, let's see if there is indeed a groove. I think there is. I think it's grooved. Just from here up, just up above there. There's a bit of a groove. Let's see if we can make the groove trick work holding my machine needle like this. This is a pretty good test because I haven't actually chopped off any of the fuzzies. I'm going to chop him off again. It's not fair. Okay. Angle down. Definitely likes running down that groove. I think there's a groove there. It was really easy. I could feel it get into that groove. So yes, running it down the groove towards the tip of the needle will get into a channel that leads to the eye of the needle. So that is a winner tip. The caveat is some hand needles are specialized and they won't have the groove. It's a stretch needle, and I tried it on the universal as well. Those machine needles had it. So there you go. Try that one out too. I hope you've got a new tip or two to try out. Enjoy your comfy life, and I'll see you next time.